Good evening and welcome to Breaking Today. My name is Frederick Muitiriri and these are the highlights tonight. Fracas witnessed in Baringo County Assembly during a debate motion to pass or shut down the Building Bridges initiative. The requiem mass for the late Simeon Nyachae held today as family and national leaders pay their last respect. And youths in Kilifi County will not be marrying anytime soon. Why? They claim to be broke. All right, welcome to the broadcast. So youths do not want to marry because they are broke. Well, we're bringing you that story in a short while. Now, my sign language interpreter tonight is Michael Maidia. We start off in Baringo, where there were chaos today at the Baringo County Assembly after MCAs exchanged blows while debating on the BBI bill. Chaos began after KANU MCAs demanded the motion not to be discussed further since no public participation was done, as the MCAs, who are allied to DP Ruto, wanted to shoot down the motion. However, the process was smooth in Homa Bay County, where its assembly became the third to pass the Building Bridges Initiative BBI Constitution Amendment Bill 2020 after Siaya and Kisumu. Daniel Karaoke reports.
Just few days after the courts threatened to stop the BBI train, its passengers continued to show muscle in protecting the report. In Baringo County Assembly, the process began well as they arrived calmly to debate over the bill.
I want to finish.
Then chaos began after Ernest Kibet, who vied as an independent candidate, was slapped by Mogotio Ward MCA Charles Kosgei, throwing the assembly into absolute chaos. KANU members supported the passing of the bill, while Jubilee members affiliated to Deputy President William Ruto rejecting it. The shouting matches lasted over half an hour before it took the intervention of the Assembly Speaker David Kerich to quell down tempers in order for the debate to continue. After minutes of calm, the MCAs yet again took up their seats, clenching their fists.
Mr. Speaker, the animosity we are witnessing in the country, we are headed for elections next year. And I want us to send a message as Baringo County Assembly that we are not deaf or blind to what is happening nationally.
Assembly Speaker had a rough time bringing the House into order, as those supporting the document wanted to disrupt the debate, demanding that more time for public participation was needed, as it was not done. Yesterday, former Machakos Senator Johnson Muthama almost exchanged blows with Wiper Party leader at a funeral, just few days after two legislatures exchanged blows at a funeral. The question of integrity in our constitution still remains hanging. However, the process was smooth in Homa Bay County, where its assembly became the third to pass the Building Bridges initiative after Siaya and Kisumu County. Daniel Karaoke for Switch TV.
All right, and tonight we're asking you, is the BBI debate dividing the country? Is the BBI debate dividing the country? Talk to us on 111 444 111, or you can SMS us, you can text us, or you can tweet us. That is at Switch TV Kenya, that is on Twitter, at Fred Muitiriri. We are Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. Now, moving on, the requiem mass for the late Simeon Nyachae has been held today at the Nairobi Central SDA Church. Nyachae died on the 1st of February at the Nairobi hospital, where he had been undergoing treatment. The veteran politician will be laid to rest at a private ceremony on 15th of February at his home in Nyosia, Nyaribari Chache, after another service which will be held at Nyaturago Stadium in Kisii County.
In a service attended by ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and ODM leader Raila Odinga, among others, the former cabinet minister has been described as a great role model to many.
Mzee Nyachae had this characteristic, and when he passed away, I really thought about it. What was it? And it just dawned on me that characteristic was one where he believed in lifting each other up, lifting people up, lifting colleagues up. And that's what I noticed most in Mzee NYACHAE. He believed no matter how young we were, we should be pulled up, taught what is necessary so that we can serve the same way that they did.
The family has described him as a great leader who enabled many people in the Kisii community to go to school and has also made various developments in Kisii town.
Go well, Tata. We will miss you.
That Dad always taught us to strive to achieve is that in everything you do, big or small, do the right thing. However small it may appear, do the right thing and maintain your integrity.
That the day will come when we will be reunited, but until then, I shall miss and love you always, and we will celebrate you and all you have taught me and our children. May God bless you our soul in eternal peace.
Leaders have condemned various altercations by their counterparts in various gatherings. They have been encouraged to embrace peace and lead by example in order for communities to build a better country. Nyakundi Kelvin, Switch TV.
Now, several top political leaders who attended the late Simeon NYACHAE'S requiem mass in Nairobi today eulogized him as a great patriot, a go-getter, and a great professional of all time. The leaders paid tribute to NYACHAE as they share the great history they heard together at the requiem mass. Majibu Kitsao with the details.
Several political leaders who were present at the late Simeon NYACHAE'S requiem mass today made their tribute as they condoned with the family of the late minister. ODM leader Raila Odinga attributed NYACHAE as a great Kenyan patriot who did a lot to the service of Kenya during his days in leadership.
When we now teamed up with NAK to form NAC, we had an issue. When I said Kibaki Tosha, that did not go down very well with Simon. And he would all the times keep on reminding me how I betrayed him. But we remained friends generally right through. So we are actually saying goodbye to a great Kenyan patriot, a man who has done a lot in the service of this country. And we want just to say, may the Lord rest Simon's soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka eulogized the late NYACHAE as a strong personality and a go-getter who was as well a towering personality intellectually. On his part, NC Party leader Musalia Mudavadi, who once served in the same cabinet with Simeon NYACHAE in the ministries of finance and agriculture respectively, eulogized him as a thorough and candid individual who was also professional in approach. NYACHAE, who served in the governments of founding President Jomo Kenyatta, retired President the late Daniel Arap Moi, and Mwai Kibaki, will be remembered for reforms in various sectors when he served in his portfolios. Majibu Kitsao for Switch TV.
Machaka's Senate candidate for Maendeleo Chap Party, Mutua Katuku, has assured Machaka's residents that he will fight corruption and check excesses of the executive when elected to the Senate. Katuku, who intensified his campaigns in Masinga constituency, has vowed to swiftly move to resolve the long-standing dispute of Keva-Kenjan land pitting the locals against the state parastatal.
Nasikia watu wakisema siwezi. Mimi nimeonekana na president wa taifa hili pamoja na deputy wake William Ruto ambaye anasema haelewi mambo ya BBI. Yeye pamoja na president ndio walini appoint kwa BBI kama member. Mimi Agnes Kavindua Mudhama ninaweza hii kazi ya senator.
Kujua wewe ni chui amevaa ngozi la kondoo. Juzi umetengeneza chama yako. Ndani ya chama yako si kuona mtu yoyote. Wamama kama hawa wamewekwa mahali. Watu wa boda wamewekwa mahali. Mtu wa mkokoteni amewekwa mahali.
Now we go to a very funny story in Kilifi County, where young men from Mariakani in Kilifi County have expressed fear that they cannot be able to marry since they do not have any economic livelihood. The young people, the youth who are attending a function graced by Governor Emmerson Kingi, said that lack of employment opportunities had hampered their efforts to raise families and called on the governor to intervene by providing solutions to unemployment. Sazamunga reports.
The youths, who were led by their leader, Said Mwakalu, say they are frustrated by lack of unemployment and poverty, which has made raising a family a difficult task. According to them, most employment opportunities only come if is highly connected, leaving the rest at the masses of the streets.
Wanasema kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. Sasa ikiwa hivyo, si tutaoana pesa gani? Hapo sasa imefikia mahali mimi kijana nahitaji kuoa, lakini sina uwezo.
Martha Koki, a nominated MCA, however faulted the youth, saying that they had taken the necessary steps to get interest-free loans from the county government of Kilifi to invest in businesses.
Jambo la kuhuzunisha bwana gavana na wakaazi wa Mariakani ni kuwa ndani ya Mariakani ile pesa uliozindua juzi ya mamilioni ni group only 9 za Mariakani ziliweza kufaidika.
Governor Emmerson Kingi, however, acknowledged the fact that the county government could not employ every resident, and that is why the county government came up with the Mbegu Fund to support the macro and small businesses.
Na kama serikali tukaja na mbinu ya hazina ya mbegu, Mbegu Fund, ili kijana mwenye gongo la biashara anaandika proposal yake, ama wanakuja pamoja kama kundi moja la vijana, anaandika proposal yake, kwamba mimi nataka mradi huu, faida yake ni hii, kwa hivyo usaidizi ambao nataka ni hela ya kuanzisha mradi huu.
The fund was introduced after the Kilifi County Assembly passed a bill to sponsor small and medium-sized businesses run by the youth and women from the county, with 201 million shillings being set aside in the 2020-2021 financial year. Sazamunga, Switch TV.
Young people will not marry because they do not have funds. Actually, you can marry from somewhere. You can start anywhere. All right, we are going on a short break. But before you do that, I asked you earlier on, is the BBI debate dividing the country? Is the BBI debate dividing the country? Talk to us on 111 444 111. You saw what happened in Baringo County earlier today. MCAs are up against each other. Is the BBI debate dividing the country? Short break. We'll be back with more in a short while. And welcome back on Matters Health Now. Have you ever heard of aplastic anemia? Well, it is a severe condition that occurs when your body stops producing enough new blood cells, affecting the bone marrow. Our health reporter, Harriet Chimea, brings us the story of this rare condition that is taking a toll on a young journalist.
Anemia is often associated with lack of enough blood. However, there is a kind of anemia called aplastic anemia, which is more severe, that takes a toll on the body's system.
Basically, aplastic anemia is bone marrow failure. Some of the symptoms would be due to anemia, but you're not able to transport oxygen from your lungs to various body tissues, so you get very tired, you have shortness of breath, your mucous membranes look white, and sometimes you have awareness of your heartbeat because the heart has to beat faster. When you have reduced platelets, you start bleeding easily. So you bleed, you brush your teeth, and 2 hours later, you're still bleeding.
Nathan Mutembei narrates the ordeal he goes through with his condition.
When the levels of my blood were tested, they were very, very low. Actually, and 33 platelets, and the normal blood was around 4. For a normal human person or a grown-up, it should be 15. I was very weak. I couldn't walk from, in my bed to the stairs. So from St. Francis, that is when we did a test on bone marrow. And we realized that bone marrow is no longer working at all. It is not able to produce platelets and blood cells. That's when, that is when you realize things are thick, especially when you are told that bone marrow has an issue. And when you are told it is an issue, now you ask, what is next for me? Is it death?
When his platelets are low, he experiences bleeding of the gums, and his eyes are bloodshot, among other symptoms, effects that come with the condition.
The biggest challenge when I was discharged by the doctor at that time, I was told, now you have to be very careful even when you're walking, because the moment you fall, your blood won't clot. And when your blood doesn't clot, it means another challenge is that I cannot go to kinyozi. I can't go to my barber, because one thing, when he is doing the shaving you, the machine might trip and cut you.
Having to undergo feet reconstructive surgery in order to walk in his childhood, diagnosed with poliomyelitis, pancytopenia, he says the treatment is somehow brutal.
The only thing to sustain your life is now through transfusion. There is nothing else. When it gets down, you come back to the hospital, you do transfusion again.
However, Nathan says that aplastic anemia can be treated in India, although through bone marrow transplant, which is estimated at about 6.5 million shillings.
I'm still urging Kenyans of goodwill and to support me in I get a medical, a medical fund, so that I can, go back to my feet and working again.
Although for Nathan, disability is not inability, he has had diagnosis after diagnosis with numerous challenges and calls upon Kenyans to come to his aid. Harriet Chimea reporting for Switch TV.
It's time for business. Good evening. I'm Clifford Ndubi. Kenya's public sector debt sustainability analysis indicates that as of 2019, the country's public debt had breached 3 prudent thresholds. This indicates that pre-COVID-19 public debt sustainability was already deteriorating, majorly due to the deterioration of government revenues. It is expected that post-COVID-19 sustainability of public debt will worsen. This is attributed to the application of expansionary fiscal measures such as a reduction in income tax and value-added tax and increase in transfer payments by the government. In addition to these measures, the country's economic activities have also declined further, implying that revenues and by extension the gross domestic product, which is the GDP, will decline. Now, elsewhere, with a 3,000 shillings investment, Robert Masai started his Mindy Choma business. With the amount, he acquired a stand and every tool he needed to kickstart his hustle. In a month, he makes between 18,000 to 20,000 shillings and is able to sustain himself, his family, and his business. He talked to John Kutuni and he says, "Usidharau kazi, kazi ni kazi."
From customers like this, Robert is sure that by close of business, he pockets more than 1,000 shillings a day. With pride, he says this has changed his family's life.
Inanisaidia kwenye mambo yangu kama sasa shule, inanisaidia 10. Kwenye matumizi ya nyumbani inanisaidia pia.
Every single morning at 6, you get him at his workstation, and he has these words for the young people.
Fanya kazi yoyote kwa sababu hata yule ambaye yuko ofisi alianza chini underground mpaka sasa amefika juu kabisa.
You've probably heard it a million times that kazi ni kazi. With as little as 100 shillings, you can start small, so long as the business is profitable. Reporting for Switch Business, my name is Joan Kutun.
And away from that, the Public Service Commission, PSC, has developed a draft bill to enhance efficiency in the human resource management in the public sector. The proposed Human Resource Management Bill 2021 is to provide for uniform norms and standards for management of human resource in the entire public sector. Robert Ouma has filed this report.
I want to alter the program a little bit.
The Commission Vice Chairperson Charity Kisotu says as a result of the disjointed application of human resource management and practices, the Commission has now initiated the bill that will lead to an efficient and effective public service capable of consistently delivering high-quality service to the citizens.
The proposed legislation, ladies and gentlemen, therefore will ensure that human resource management in the public service is handled in a more standardized manner.
The bill also seeks to address and harmonize the public sector human resource environment that is currently loaded with conflicting legislation and policies that hinders the efforts to transform the public service.
The bill seeks to guide the management of human resource in a manner that will lead to an efficient and effective public service, capable of consistently delivering high-quality services to the citizens.
According to Kisotu, the bill also has provisions for responsibilities and management of human resource, establishment and abolition of offices, reorganizations of offices and office conditions, efficiency and effectiveness, among others.
I am optimistic that once this bill is enacted, the new law that will emerge out of the draft Public Human Resource Management Bill 2021 will go a long way to reposition the public service to better serve the people of Kenya.
The Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Public Service Commission, Simon Rotich, said that once the bill is enacted, the legal framework that will emerge thereof will go a long way to correct the discordance, overlaps and apparent confusion by different public agencies. Robert Ouma, Switch TV.
Now, the design of a new Integrated Traffic Management Center, TMC, for Nairobi is complete, paving way for its construction. The Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KURA, said preparations are now underway for groundbreaking works for facility, which will be located on a newly acquired 10-acre parcel of land in the city Cabanas area in Mombasa Road. The plan is now in the final stages for the project. Ahead of its groundbreaking, TMC will house a command team comprised of engineers, system specialists and traffic police officers will monitor and act on data coming through, helping to remotely allocate more time to congested roads. Now, moving on, the Treasury offered Kenya Airways a further 10 billion in a secret bailout, despite having publicly stated it would reject the national carrier's request for funds to avoid the collapse and effects of the coronavirus pandemic. A supplementary budget tabled in Parliament on Tuesday revealed Kenya Airways received 8 billion directly from the Treasury and 2 billion from the Transport Ministry to ease the effects of the virus that had obliterated global demand for travel. And finally, Absa Bank Kenya PLC celebrated its one-year anniversary in Kenyan market with a commitment to significantly invest towards transforming customer experience. The bank announced that it plans to invest over 1.6 billion in technology to enhance service delivery. Speaking at a media briefing at the bank's Queensway branch in Nairobi, Absa Managing Director Jeremy Awori noted that delivering a differentiated customer experience remains at the core of the bank's growth, transformation and a return strategy.
Despite the challenges in the macroeconomic environment, we continued to lend to our customers, underscoring our commitment to keep the wheels of our economy moving. As we look forward in the next year, we'll be investing more than 1.6 billion Kenya shillings in over 60 different technology projects.
All right, that story from Absa brings us to the end of business news this evening. Let's do this next week, same time, same place. Up next is sports news.
All right, it's time for sports, but before we go to sports, now news coming in is that Baringo County becomes the first county to reject the BBI bill after a heated debate that saw Jubilee and KANU MCAS fight throughout this afternoon. Now, this is how they voted. No, 30 MCAs voted for no. Yes, there were 12 MCAs and 1 was absent. Once again, news coming in is that Baringo County becomes the first county to reject the BBI bill after a heated debate that saw MCAs go mundu kwa mundu. Now to sports. Everton are through to the FA Cup quarter-finals after edging out Tottenham Hotspur in a 9-goal classic at Goodson Park. Both teams displayed a magnificent goal contest before Carlo Ancelotti's having the last laugh following substitute Bernard firing home in the 7th minute of extra time.